Okay, here we are. We have our Y21 Kids Watch, and it comes in a nice little gift box. You can gift it in the box like this if you want. This little sticker, I have tried to get that off before. It didn't come off very well. Maybe you have other ways to get it off. I didn't. So let's open it up and see what we have here. We have the instructions. We have the watch itself, and it's in a protective covering here. So we'll get that off. Set that aside. So here's basically your watch, and it's actually made pretty good. What else do we have in the box? It looks like we have the charging cord. All right, so that's the contents. Right there, you have the instructions, the watch, and the charging cord. So let's just look at the watch here for a second here. On this side, you have your power button, and you have your flashlight, and you have the camera. So that's your power on and off. And on this side, there's a fingernail thing to get in here, and that's where you charge it on this side, and this is where your SIM card goes. So you can get the SIM card right from your cell phone provider. And at first I thought, well, geez, you know, it's expensive to do a whole nother data package, and it's like another phone number. So I checked with AT&T, who's our provider, and they said, no, it was $10 a month. Basically, it does give it another phone number, but you don't have to give that phone number out to anybody. You know, you're going to be able to put 10 numbers in here that this watch is able to call and receive calls from. Nobody's going to be calling, you know, arbitrarily from this phone. It's just the ones that are in it. So at $10 a month, that's pretty good, because then you can use all your geofencing and long distance. You can do your, you know, the walkie-talkie part of it. The SOS part then works. The geofencing works. All that actually needs that in there. We can get it set up because it's Bluetooth, and it if you're close, it does all those settings. So that's kind of the outside of your watch. And then if I can get the back off here, basically all that's in here, that's your battery. So we did turn on the watch. I'm going to turn it on again because there's an important message that kind of comes up that you want to pay attention to. So you push the power button and you hold it, and there it comes on. So the first thing that it's going to tell us is that we need to put the SIM card in, and we do. And you can go to what your provider and give them the information that's in your instructions to what carrier the carrier needs to know. So you just push the button and say you're saying okay. So that comes up to your regular lens, and it's showing you here that you don't have any signal, just like your cell phone signal, because there's no SIM card in there. And then your battery. And we've tried this. They'll last, you know, without heavy use, about 3 days without a charge, but it'll also give you messages that the charge is low. It'll actually send it to you on your phone, so you know it's low, rather than letting your child know that it's low. So then to scroll through, we just touch and we can come across, this is dial, your phone book, your camera, album, that's for the pictures you can take. And it's got some quick learning games in there. It's just like little math games and stuff like that. And then WeChat, not sure how that app works, but I imagine some of the younger folk know how to use that. There's your flashlight and your device info. So we'll go back to the dial and we'll look at that. And basically it's a regular phone dial. To get out of it, again, you push the button over on the side, takes you back. We slide over. Now we go to the phone book, and there's no SIM card, so there's nowhere that it can store that information right now. That needs to be in there. So we'll go to the camera. We can turn the camera on, and like I say, the camera's here on the side. So when you have it on your wrist, you turn it, and you can take the picture just by clicking on the camera icon there. So that's pretty easy, self-explanatory. Again, push the button to go back. And now we're at the camera again. Now the album, that's the one picture that I just took. So that one will, you can send it. Now you can send it to one of those phone numbers. That'll go SMS, a text message, or you can delete it. And we'll just go ahead and delete it and say, okay. So now our album is empty. It holds quite a few on that SIM card. Again, push the button when you're done. And quick learning. So we have a game in here, and it does a bunch of math and everything. Or you can set it up, the game level, make it easy, normal, or hard. Push the button to go back. You can mess around with those. That's all self-explanatory, so we're not going to go over those. The quick learning, the WeChat. Now the flashlight, you just hit this, and it's telling you don't shine it right in anybody's eyes. It is kind of bright, and it is right here on the edge. So I think we just touch there and say, now to turn it on, you just turn it on, and there it is. You can turn it off and on, and that is pretty cool. If your child gets scared in the dark, for any reason, you can just flip that on, and it gives them all the confidence in the world. Flip this back. So those are your main menus that you can go through. And we need the phone info, device info. So we select on that, and you can download the app, or you can register the code. We're going to do that with the phone when we get this set up here. So we're just going to get out of there, and we're just going to leave the phone set like this for right now. We don't need the cord right here. So we will set that. Now our instructions, and we're going to give you a close-up view of this, but this is really small and really hard to read. I had to use a magnifying glass. You can download these. We'll put the link, so you can just download it right off the internet, and then you can read it as normal. It basically just goes over exactly what I just did. And then here it has the QR code that we're going to download the app. So on your phone, we'll get to that, is that you're gonna want to use an app, and I use QR scanning. And the QR scan code, I don't know why it comes up to the other one. Oh, because I was in that app. Any QR scan code, just download the app, and then you can scan, and it will go to the SE tracker. When you scan this right here, it'll go to this app, and I already downloaded it. So we'll go in here now. We're going to set it up. It comes up. It's nice and easy. It's self-explanatory. This is going to look the same whether you're on Android or iOS, because once you're in the app is the same. And it says here, the watch supports any mobile network SIM card. Please purchase that card and insert it into the open slot. Okay, you do need to do that. You can continue setting all this up without it. So it says insert your SIM card into the watch, download the app on your phone from the online store, and log into the app on your phone to start the process. Okay, I did register already, but you have to register a little account, and that's okay. So you just say okay. Now it's going to ask you to log in, and I'll just go ahead and do that really quick here. It automatically capitalizes, and I don't know if my username is case sensitive or not, so I always just go back. And I'm not a good texter. I'm not fast, but I get there. On the Androids, there's a button you can just push for .com, and that makes it so much easier. But in Apple, it doesn't, and it looks like I went one too many. C-O-M. And then I'll put my and what I use? And we'll log in. So this little register button, that's the first one you're going to use, and that's going to get you logged in. And it says I have an account error. Oh, maybe because maybe I need to re-register it. Let's do it. So now it's saying that the SE Tractor wants your location. So if you're going to want to know all of the locations of this watch and who's wearing it, you're going to want to say allow. And then let me go ahead, and I'm just going to pause while I put this info in. Now, once you get logged in, this is what you're going to see here. It comes up. It's got a nice little interface. It shows where I am right now, kind of. And what this now allows you to do is this is a menu and this is a menu. You can switch what you're doing. You can switch devices. Say you're running 2 children or 3 children or 4. Here's your chat, your geofence, your locate, your history, and you have your setup there. So we're going to look at this menu right here, and basically for the app you can remove the ads, I would imagine, by paying for health. We'll go in there and look. You can find out how many steps your child went, how many calories they used, the distance they went, and how many times they turn over in their sleep. So you can do all kinds of stuff like that, and that's for this day, and then you can run the history in there as well. Then the message, you can do your SMS messages right in here. This will populate differently when the SIM card's in there. And then you have the alarm clock and rewards. There's different things for the awards that if your child does, say, their homework, you can send them a reward. However many hearts you want to send them. It's just a little thing, that you can start doing and say, look, if you get so many hearts, you get a popsicle or whatever you come up with. Some people don't use it at all. So we bring that back over, and then this is where we put in our personal info. So right now, that's the email that I used. I'm a male. The user, you don't get to change that. That is the watch itself. It's ID, and you can put in your phone number and your email. I have them reversed right now because of the way that I logged in. So you put those in, and then the account, when I signed up, I was the dad. That was the default of it. So we can go back here. Now we got the device list. Okay. This is just one device right now because that's what I named it, was me. But if you have several watches and several children that you're tracking, you can put them all in here and then just choose whichever one. Just by adding the device and filling it out, you'll scan the Q code again. And then you can go in and you can change your password. And what else do we have in there? And then the exit. We just exit out of there. Let's log back in because I had exited. So now you have your geofence, and I don't know that this is going to click here for the menu. Get it? Okay. I know what that's for. Switch between the device. I understand. Now we're in the full mode. So we can go to the geofence. Now you can go in here and you can set up whatever geofence you want. Okay, so if you don't know what a geofence is, here's the explanation of it. Say you're at the playground and it's a huge playground. You can set it up so that you can do, I don't know if this one's going to be in feet or in yards, but you can set it up so that you can say after 500 yards from me, from my phone. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden your child gets out of the geofence. It's gonna notify you. It's gonna notify them, and whoever you set that up as, they're not going to go outside of those bounds. The other thing is, if you have that set up at school and your child leaves school, guess what? We know it. And you can transition into, these are the children's watches. We also have them for adults too. So as they get older, then you can get another watch that doesn't look like a children's watch. It looks like an adult's watch, but it still works all the same as this. And as teenagers, you want to know where they are. Well, you certainly can. At that point in time, you may be using their phone for all that, so you can track them. Here's your settings, so you can go in on the watch itself. We'll go through these settings. If you push and hold that button on the side, you set it up with an SOS number. So what it's going to allow you to do is you can put in 3 numbers. So if your child gets in trouble and you teach your child, if you get in trouble, you just push and hold that SOS button. It's going to call me, it's going to call mom, and it's going to call grandma, whoever you put in there to do that. That's a pretty cool function. If your child is in the store and we get lost or separated, you can use the walkie-talkie function for that, but you can also, if he gets scared, they can push that button and we can find him right away. So the location update, normal mode is it updates every 10 minutes. Okay, so if you're at the mall and it's updating every 10 minutes, we might lose them. So I would be tracking update every minute. I would change that. But during the day when they're at school or whatever, every 10 minutes is okay. You can put it into power saving mode too and do it every hour. You're going to have to check and see if you get into changing your charging schedule. Some people charge them every couple days. Some people charge them every night. It all depends on what you're going to do and how long you want that battery to last, and you can play with that and see what that does. Then you have the Guardian. You can put that in, and any sound that's going on in there is going to come to you. And then you have family members. You can put those in. Here it shows me, that's my account, and I'm registered as the dad. You can put in as many family members as you want, and I believe once they're in there, you can say when they would be notified. The do not disturb is kind of a cool one. We can set that up so that the teacher at school doesn't get all mad, because we can say between this time and this time, and I can turn that on, you're in school. You're not allowed to use the watch function, so we can turn them on and off here. Or, whatever those reasons are, you can set up any ones you want. You can change them really quickly, and then you just turn each one on and off as you want that watch to be in the do not disturb mode. That, if it's in do not disturb, you can still turn the camera on and you can still listen in, but they can't. So, I said, okay, I just need to go back because I wasn't hooked to the internet. Now the SMS alerts, you can get the SOS and you can get the low voltage, and you can put the phone number in of where you want that sent to. So the SOS prompt itself is going to go to this phone number and the other 3 you put in. Or I believe if you don't fill this out, it's not going to let you turn it on. But you can make that the same phone number. It just won't send you 2. And then we go back. Now the phone book. You get to control 10 numbers. You can put 10 in here. These are the only numbers that can be called, and these are the only numbers that the watch will accept calls from. And this is kind of nice. I did this with my daughter's phone to begin with. The rule was she was not allowed to put numbers into the phone, only I was. So she would write her friends' numbers down on paper, bring it home and say, Dad, can I put this in in my phone. Well, then I question, well, is that their cell phone? Is that their mom and dad's number? I want to know whose number that is, and then I want to talk to their parents and find out if it's okay with them that the girls, can talk on the phone. But some people have different rules. It's all whatever you choose, but you get to choose 10. That way you're not going to get telemarketers calling that number, and you're not going to get weirdos calling that number if they get a hold of the number. You're in charge right here. And this, it's really quick and easy if you want to change it. If you want to add one, say your son has a friend at school that has a watch as well, and you want to be able to let them call each other, you can put that number in here, and it takes seconds to do it. Okay, set the local base station. That's this. So that's this phone or this address, depending on how you want to put it in there. But I put it in as my phone. And then the language and the time zone, you can put that in. And then when you click on summertime too, I believe that takes out your do not disturbs. I don't like it working that way, but I think that's what it is. Now, if you lose the watch, here, you can go find it. It'll just make the watch make noise when it, even if you have the volume down on the watch, it'll still make noise and you can find it. And you can shut it off from right here. So you have a lot of control right here over the watch device, and then you can locate it too. It's telling me the device is offline because there's no SIM card in it. You can also get the history. It'll tell you everywhere that person went. And you can put in the date and the time that you want to know where they were going. Again, it needs a SIM card to use that feature. So that kind of, and then you're just your regular chat. So when you do the regular chat, you can talk, and it's like a walkie-talkie. That's how that part of that chat works. So, you can be across the playground and hit chat and say, Susie, come back here. You don't have to scream across the deal, or if you're in the mall, wherever, but you see how that can be used. So this is a pretty So in conclusion, on this watch, this is a durable little thing. It's got, the hard plastic. If they bust this or if they lose it, you're not out, $1,000 on getting them a cell phone. Other things is that some of the things we ran into with our daughter was some kids were getting jealous that she had a cell phone. Well, we never did go out and buy her just a cell phone for her. My wife upgraded, and then we had the extra one, so we gave it to her. My biggest concern on that was because AT&T had a service you could buy where I could keep track of where she was. So I always thought if she had her phone on her, I know where she is. I can track her if I need to. Well, what that came down to was when she first got her cell phone, she didn't always take it with her because she forgot it. Well, she's 9. This is a watch. She's going to wear it. It's always going to be on her. And the $10 a month that AT&T quoted me for this to put the SIM card in it was $10 a month. That's well worth it to me. I can't go wrong on there. It's not like I'm buying a whole new plan. And we went through a lot of these watches, and you have to watch the specs, because what happens with the specs is they show a picture of a watch that the camera's not there. It's another button that's there, and it shows the flashlight. And then in the title of the listing, they say it has a camera, but when you start reading the specs don't say anything about a camera. Then there's other ones that are just Bluetooth, so they only work around you. They don't go over the phone lines, and if you're out a couple hundred feet out of range of the phone, they don't work at all. So the tracking part doesn't work. If you look at it, what happens with these is there's only so many chipsets that they use, and this one happens to be the Y21. That's kind of the engine, and then each manufacturer decides how much programming they're going to do and what parts of the engine they're going to use and what parts they're not. So you may get a watch that looks exactly like this, but it doesn't function like this. It doesn't have all of the features this has. You'll see a lot of them that say Android and iOS. The iOS is the Apple. And then when you read the specs, it says Android. It doesn't say iOS. And when you receive the product, which we have, it came and only Android works. iOS does not work on it. It's because they didn't go through the program to do it. A lot of them now say you have 128 by 128 for the resolution, but then when you look at the specs, it says 128 by 64. So they're not telling you the truth there either. When you want these to work is when you're having an issue or your child's having an issue. That's not when you want it to fail. The other thing is that all of the components that these use, the manufacturers, even if the components don't pass their quality control, they just sell them to other people, and other people then manufacture stuff that doesn't stand the test of time. You're going to break or lose this before you ever wear it out. This is proven. Years and years of these being out and about. There's no battery failures. There's no failures. If it fails, it's going to fail in the first week you have it. And we just replace it. We do all the warranties here ourselves. So you're not gonna have to send it back overseas to have any warranty done or anything like that. We take care of it right here. We'll just send you a new one. We're done. You know, the price point on them, we want our customers to be happy, and we're just, you send us the one that doesn't work back, we send them back to the manufacturer in bulk. When we first start, you know, our weuseitoo.com is we do use it. So we get the stuff one at a time, and we use drop shipping at first. And that you're going to wait, you know, 9 to 20 days to get because it's coming from China. But as soon as we have a proven one and people are buying them, we're buying them in bulk and we're stocking them here. We save a little bit on shipping. So, you know, it pays. We have these here in stock in both colors. You can get this in pink or in blue. And like I said, we have another one that's based on a different chipset, different engine. You'll end up seeing it on here soon enough. That is the teenager or the adult one. This is tried, it's tested, and it works. It's not a counterfeit. It's not a knockoff. Everything about it works. If you look at the listings, trust me, you're going to start seeing what it says in the title. Doesn't say in the specs, or the specs may say it's different. And the Y21 chipset, they got 50 different models out there of what other manufacturers are calling their models. These are the people that manufactured the Y21. They manufacture every component for it. This is as real as you get. And for the price point, you will be 100% satisfied, and we guarantee you that. The last thing we wanted to talk about was the instructions. A lot of times you do get generic instructions, and sometimes they don't make sense. The Chinese translation from Chinese to English does not come straight across, and they sometimes just don't make sense. And we don't know how to change that other than we write our own instructions, and we do videos like this so you can see it, you can feel it. I mean, this is a rubber in the back with a rubber kind of fabric on the front. It's durable. We want you to see it and feel it, hold it, touch it, and see how it works before you buy it. Thanks for watching.